Here is a subtle problem that quietly breaks many models. Your features live on wildly different scales. And to a lot of algorithms, a bigger number simply looks more important, even when it isn't. Let's see the damage, then fix it, step by step. Here are 6 customers, each with 2 features. Along the bottom, their age, running from 25 to 60. Up the side, their income, running from $30,000 to $80,000. Look at the numbers on each axis. Income is measured in tens of thousands, while age is just tens. The 2 features are nowhere near the same size. Why does that matter? Many models, anything that measures distance, or follows gradients, judge how different 2 customers are by measuring the gap between them. Take these 2. Their ages differ by 35. Their incomes differ by 50,000. Now watch what happens when we square those gaps and add them up. The age gap contributes about 1,000. The income gap contributes 2.5 billion. Age is completely drowned out. The model is deciding these customers are different almost entirely because of income, and it barely notices age at all. The classic fix is standardization. The idea: rewrite every feature in terms of how far it sits from its own average. So first we need 2 numbers for each feature. Take age. Add up the 6 ages and divide by 6. The mean comes out to 42.5. Then we measure the spread, the standard deviation, how far a typical age sits from that mean. For age, that's 12.5. Now the transform itself. For every value, subtract the mean, then divide by the standard deviation. That answer is called the z-score. Take the customer aged 40. 40 minus 42.5 is minus 2.5. Divide by 12.5, and we get minus 0.2, just below average. Do that for both features, and watch the points slide into new positions. Every feature is reborn centered at 0, with a spread of 1. And here's the payoff. Measure the gap between our 2 customers again. Now the age term and the income term are about the same size. Both features finally count. There's a second popular option: normalization, also called min-max scaling. Instead of centering on the mean, we stretch each feature to fit between 0 and 1. Subtract the smallest value, then divide by the range, the max minus the min. So an income of 52,000 becomes 52 minus 30, over 80 minus 30, about 0.44. The smallest value lands at 0, the largest at 1, and everything else falls neatly in between. Either way, the point is the same, so let's watch one customer's 2 features side by side. Before scaling, income is a towering bar and age is a tiny sliver beside it. That mismatch is exactly what the model overweights. Now apply the scaling. Watch the income bar shrink and the age bar grow until the 2 stand shoulder to shoulder, comparable at last, and fair. One crucial rule about where those numbers come from: the mean, the standard deviation, the min and the max, learn them from the training data only. Freeze them. Then apply those same frozen numbers to transform the test data. Watch a held-out test customer get scaled using the training mean and spread, not its own. If you let the test set influence the scaling, information leaks from test into training, and your evaluation is quietly flattering. Fit on train, apply to test, never the other way around. So, scale your features so that none of them dominates just because of the units it happens to use. Standardize to center at 0 with a spread of 1, or normalize to a 0 to 1 range, and always learn the scalar from training data alone. Next up, turning words and categories into numbers, encoding.